Aluminium is not mined. There is no aluminium metal anywhere in the ground on this planet. What comes out of the ground is a soft red rock, and the only way to pull metal out of it is to electrocute it at nearly 1,000 degrees, using enough electricity that smelters get built right next to their own power station. You are surrounded by the result: your window frames, your car, the foil in your kitchen drawer. And for most of human history, nobody could do it. In the 1800s, aluminium cost more to produce than silver. It was jewelry. Napoleon III reportedly served his most important guests on aluminium plates and gave everyone else gold. The metal was under their feet the whole time. They just could not get it out. Here is why. Aluminium hates being alone. In nature, it is always locked to oxygen, and that bond is one of the strongest in common chemistry. Melting the rock does not break it. Burning the rock does not break it. Aluminium oxide does not even melt until around 2,000 degrees Celsius. So the process runs in 2 stages, and the first one is only cleaning. The rock is called bauxite. It gets crushed and dropped into hot caustic soda under pressure. The soda dissolves the aluminium compounds and leaves the iron and silicon behind as a red sludge. What is left, once it is washed and baked, is a white powder called alumina, pure aluminium oxide. That is the Bayer process, and it has barely changed since the 1880s. Now you have the powder. You still cannot melt it. This is where 2 men solved the same problem in the same year without knowing about each other. In 1886, Charles Martin Hall in Ohio and Paul Heroult in France, both 22 years old, found the same trick. You do not melt the alumina, you dissolve it. They dissolved it in molten cryolite, a mineral salt that goes liquid at around 1,000 degrees. Alumina disappears into it like sugar into hot water. Suddenly, the aluminium and the oxygen are floating free inside a liquid, and a liquid can carry a current. So picture the cell they built, because it is still the machine running today. Start with a long, shallow steel bath. Line the inside with carbon. That lining is the negative terminal. Fill it with molten cryolite, glowing orange, and stir in the white alumina powder. Now hang thick blocks of carbon down into the bath from a heavy beam overhead. Those are the positive terminals. Then push current through. Not high voltage, only about 4 volts. But the current is enormous, up to 350,000 amps through a single cell. The oxygen gets dragged upward to the carbon blocks. The aluminium gets dragged down to the carbon floor. And because liquid aluminium is heavier than the cryolite around it, it sinks and pools at the bottom of the bath as a bright silver layer. Every day or so, a pipe goes in and siphons that layer out. That is the metal. But look at what happened to the carbon blocks. The oxygen did not come off and float away. It hit hot carbon and grabbed it. So the positive electrodes are slowly eaten, and they leave the building as carbon dioxide. A smelter does not only consume electricity, it consumes its own electrodes continuously and has to keep replacing them. Which brings you to the number that explains everything else. Producing 1 kilogram of primary aluminium takes roughly 14 kilowatt-hours of electricity. That is a serious chunk of a household's daily use for 1 kilogram of metal. Multiply that across global production, and the demand gets large enough that smelters chase cheap hydropower across continents and shut down entirely when power prices spike. If this is the kind of thing you want answered properly, real mechanisms instead of press releases, this channel does one every week. Subscribing tells me to keep going. Because here is the part that changes how you look at a drinks can. All that electricity did not disappear. It is still in there, held in the metal as the work it took to break the bond. Melt the can down, and that bond never has to be broken again. Recycled aluminium needs about 5% of the energy of the original. 95% of the power is already paid for, permanently, as long as the metal keeps coming back. Which means the foil in your kitchen drawer is not really a metal. It is stored electricity in a shape.